stream first.
Cool.
Here we go. So we are live on YouTube. And it's 6 o'clock, so I'm going to open up the webinar.
All right.
This
Here we
meeting
go.
is being recorded.
Every time I hear that voice, I think of like all those videos where they use the reading voice to say really silly things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to wait until optimum attendance before we kick off the theme. I'm assuming the weather is nicer in many places across the states right now than it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we may have lost a few people to yard work.
Into frolicking in the sun.
To yard
Yeah.
work, that's right.
Yeah.
Because that's what you want to do when the weather's nice after a cold winter.
But the diehards, I'm sure, will be here tonight.
Yeah.
Illustration, isolation, illustration, isolation.
All right. Awesome. Somebody's tuning in from Singapore. That's great.
All right.
Welcome.
Hi, everybody. This is John. I'm here with Timmy Trabon and Bill Kobe and Cassandra Loomis Kim. Have my wrong camera on as usual, but that's all right. I'll do it this way. Hope everybody's ready for a fun night of drawing. And I think we got what we need to get going. We're going to kind of jump into it. I think that's been our format recently, just try to get to the drawing as quickly as possible. If you are new here, we do 4 20-minute poses. And then we talk a little bit in between, during, and then at the end of it, we hope to have enough time to share. We try to get everybody enough time break in between that they can post their work to hashtag illustration isolation. And when they at the end, we go through and we'll look at the Instagram, and if we have time, the Facebook account. Again, tonight we are drawing Belen Assad, photographer from Argentina. That's a photographer and filmmaker. Really beautiful photography. He's been so kind to let us use the work. The reference we have for tonight, here are the 4 images that we'll be drawing. Timmy, we have them in order on the website that people can get to them easily, access them.
Yeah. Sorry. I think they're in order. And anybody in the audience who's ever wondering if you're drawing the right image, look at John's easel.
Just look at my easel, because I don't like drawing from my monitor, so I print them out. And I also don't like drawing color photography, so I like the black and white.
Yeah.
And so these are our 4 poses that we're going to do tonight. It's time to draw. Illustration, hashtag illustration isolation. And if you could be so kind to recognize Belen. She's been great letting us use the photo reference.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say is if you just want to, if you're having trouble remembering what to tag and everything, you can just hit the copy tags button on our photos page, and it'll whatever, put that on your computer as a copy paste. And you can just bring that over to Instagram. If this is your first time joining us, please share your work with us on Instagram. It doesn't have to be like you don't have to scan it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Take a photo with your phone and share it with us.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing, and that means it's time to go. Timmy, you're going to do the timer?
Oh, yeah, sure. All right, go.
And they're up.
It's a sprint.
Yeah. So I'm sure somebody will be sneaking in. We haven't seen a few of our regulars lately.
Well, today we haven't.
Not today. Well, I was thinking about the last time Don joined us. He's probably
Oh, yeah.
drawing in the crowd.
Ooh.
Don,
Don. That was cold, Bill.
Cold as ice.
I don't know if that was that calculated, Bill, but if it was, that was
Don,
cool.
Don,
No, it wasn't. It just kind of, it was just a impulse, which is
Awesome.
horrible. I'm sorry, Don.
So if you are joining us, you can ask questions. You can guide the conversation. We're very attentive to the chat, so feel free to chime in. Yeah, draw along.
Please ask questions. I think
If you don't, we start talking about what we're watching on Netflix.
Oh yeah, we get into nonsensical conversation.
oh yeah, lawnmowers, you name it, it's coming up.
There was an intense conversation last week about bicycles and spandex.
Yes, there was. There was a little war about it.
Actually,
JJ says,
spandex thing got carried over to the next day.
Or
JJ,
sports.
yeah, or sports, yeah. If nobody asks any questions, we'll make you listen to hypothetical arguments about hypothetical athletes facing off with each other.
But you know, that only got carried on to the next day because we were all sent photos
Right.
and
Spandex.
yes, and a closet full of more.
I didn't get that picture. I missed spandex photos.
Dale sent a photograph of his closet.
Yes,
It was just rows of hanging shirts and shorts of spandex,
hundreds.
hundreds.
Well, first off, I'm impressed that he hangs it all up. Spandex, I'd probably just like ball up and chuck in a drawer.
It was. It looked like Lance's closet.
Yes.
Here's a question that I think it's a good question. This is my first time joining, and also first time drawing a portrait. Where would you suggest that I start?
The shape of the head. Get
Yeah,
the
that's
shape.
what they- yeah.
You watched. I was kind of sneaking watching Cassandra start. She's painting, and I watched. She kind of laid in that flesh tone flat. I don't know if you can see her. Take a look at her camera or her video, and I mean, I do the same thing with pastel. I try to get the shape of the figure first.
Yeah.
Helps it be more of a gesture.
Right.
Yeah. And even the direction of the head. You know,
Yeah.
The shape of the head, the direction of the head, especially if somebody's got their head tilted, like this person, can be really helpful.
Yeah, so I personally, like you, John, I like to figure out the silhouette, and then I like to figure out where they're looking. So I drew a line for where the eyes are, the nose, the mouth, and then I just kind of start kind of doing light lines of where things are to work around it.
Yeah.
But that's merely how I do it.
Yeah. And don't get caught up in having it to be exactly like what's in the photo. Have fun with it. Work from general to specific.
Now this might be a harder question. Who are your favorite art directors or clients? and you're on the record.
A lot of the art directors that I work with aren't around anymore. They don't. They're not art directing anymore. But if I'll name some great art directors that are working.
Yeah, maybe just to keep it keep it safe so you're not playing favorites. Who are some of the greats that you
I'm going
think
to
of?
start off with the art director that we had in our classroom this weekend, Lauren Panapento. Orbit Books. She's not only art director, she's creative director and has a title of vice president at Orbit Books. She's fabulous. Irene Gallo at Tor Books is fabulous. Eric Skillman, Criteria Collection. Fantastic ard director.
These are all like my dream clients.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fred Woodward, I believe he's still at GQ, but he made kind of the look and feel of Rolling Stone magazine.
Yes.
Incredible and fantastic art director.
And before that, he was at Texas Monthly, right?
He was at Texas Monthly. Yep.
Yeah. Well, people I've worked with, Jandos Rothstein, when he was at Washington City Paper. I did a lot of black and white work for them and a lot of really challenging and good editorial assignments.
You know, long time ago now, but art director I used to work with at Penguin Books was Jerry Cunahan. But I'm trying to think of, I mean, there's so many great, Sujin Basili, great art director. They come to mind quickly because she's a guest. She and Lauren are guest speakers in the Studio Bridge.
Yeah.
In June.
I've had favorite editors too in comics, like Elisa Whitney and Dan Chichester.
I'm just curious with the audience because I know, we've been trying to spread the word, so we've been trying to get a lot of new artists joining us. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And be sure to type it panelists and attendees.
Saw 2 people from the UK and they were saying it was midnight there. So you all are hardcore.
Dedicated. Toronto.
Calgary. San Francisco, my old hometown.
Did you call it San Fran?
No. No. And you don't call it Frisco either.
San Fran, Cali.
You can call it SF. You can call it the city. That's actually its nickname. In the Maltese Falcon, somebody addresses a package to the city, and it gets there. So it was called the city.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious. No, you can't.
We're so big and awesome. We get to be the city. There are other cities, but we are the city.
We're the city. Chicago's the Windy City. We are the city. Yeah, I think it's funny. But no, you don't call it Frisco or anything.
I want to go on the record that I'm aware. I just think the people that say that are just, I think it's hilarious. San Fran.
Timmy, someone's looking for the reference.
Yeah, I just sent the link.
Perfect.
There we go. Arkansas, nice. I saw Singapore earlier, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Australia, that's great. Wow, very cool.
So cool.
Well, John and I are tuning in from Kansas City, Missouri. Well, Kansas City, Missouri. John, you're in Kansas City, Kansas, right?
No, I'm in Leawood, Kansas.
Leawood, Kansas.
Kansas City, Kansas is a different town.
Yeah.
And I'm being very clear about that. Timmy, you and I have been to Kansas City, Kansas.
How
Yeah.
far apart are you from each other?
Mile.
Yeah, maybe a mile.
2 miles, maybe max.
We could
You're a
we
mile
could get
apart,
a
but
zip
different
line.
state.
I live 400 yards from Missouri, and I live in Kansas. I live right next to State Line Road.
That's funny.
We had some snow recently, and it's my favorite thing is to go on State Line and see Missouri looks like the apocalypse, and Kansas has the cleanest, most pristine roads.
The sidewalks are cleared.
Yeah, it is. And what's even crazier is, and I don't know that if there's more to this story, but this year we were told in Kansas City, Missouri, I was told by other people, at least, I don't know what the city actually did, but they were like, trash days move back a couple days because the trash men are actually going to be the snowmen this year, clearing the roads. And then it was just like the roads never got cleared and nobody picked up our trash. It was like, what is happening?
Double insult.
Yeah, it was like, it felt like a grand miscommunication.
Oh dear.
When you're being snowed.
Somebody says, like when people say hot Atlanta, nobody says that here. Yeah. That's funny. Here's a question.
Where are you again?
Pardon?
Was it?
Where are you, Cassandra?
Oh, I'm in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, that's right. So we're only about 3 hours away.
Where are you?
I'm in Harbor, North Carolina, which is,
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you were in North Carolina.
yeah.
Is that like is North Carolina like moonshine state?
I don't know.
I mean, isn't that
I feel like maybe more West Virginia, like I don't know.
I thought that they shared that. But
Not where I live, but
I wasn't suggesting anything about you, Bill.
no, it's fine.
I think he was.
I mean,
Yeah.
that would be a great way to earn a living in these times.
Somebody says it's definitely West Virginia.
That's what I think
My
too, 'cause
apologies for not.
I feel like when I go for a hike and I'll sometimes I go hiking out in West Virginia and there's always like a sign for moonshine.
Oh,
Oh, really? Here's an art-related question. Thank you. Suggestions on creating the folds in her blazer using paper and pencil.
I didn't draw any, so
draw the shadows.
pay attention to where the light source is coming from. Be consistent. Look for the hard edge of the cast shadow, and look like, just like with a form, any kind of form principles of light explaining form. Look for the light rolling into the shadow, into the core shadow, and then the hard edges of the cast shadows.
Simplify.
Yeah.
Good question.
It is a good question.
Also, you can see it as shapes, like, it's rectangles and there's an area that's a little kind of like an oval with points. Like you can see those shapes and see the shapes that are light and the shapes that are dark.
Yes.
I watched, I wasn't able to watch it live, but I watched Audrey's lecture on Studio Bridge and it was really good.
You surprised?
No, I got to tell you, I had some studio envy for how organized she is. Like even on my best day, I wouldn't even think to organize at the level that she does.
That was impressive, wasn't it?
Yes.
Wasn't it cool how she did she shot that video before
Yeah.
and then she was talking about it? It was really some, great, I mean, she had to be organized in that too.
The only person artist I know that's that organized besides her, Edward Kinsella. He's like that. He's just like a total organization freak.
That's amazing. I wish I was, but I am not.
Oh my gosh, I'm not anywhere near that. Oh, what was that?
I really like the model's posture.
I didn't understand that.
I like the model's posture, just how like her hips are forward and her shoulders are back.
Oh yeah.
Well, plate turned out better than the print.
Oh, Steve's asking about a link to the video we're talking about. If you're on Studio Bridge, it's the newest video.
Yeah, it's the latest episode of the Artist Spotlight. Ashley says, is it okay if we only draw from the neck up? You can draw whatever you want.
Yeah.
She says, I'm not good at drawing the rest. There is one way to get good at drawing the rest.
Draw the rest.
But do whatever you want. This is just supposed to be an unwind drawing session. So, and then somebody else asked, does the photographer regularly use the same models, or is there a big variety? Berlin seems to use a lot of similar models. From my experience, great photographers tend to find really great models and they work with them a lot. But variety is super important.
Yeah. I've seen her, from what I've seen, she's able to create variety with using the same models too.
She does have quite a bit of she's got a lot of different characters. And also, I just shared a link to Studio Bridge. So if you want, you can sign up. We've got a 15-day free trial, and a lot of you will be excited. No credit card required. So I highly recommend checking it out. 15 days. Technically,
Yep.
Technically, there's enough content in there that if you started watching it now, you could probably finish all of it before your 15-day trial ends. But you'd have to be pretty committed.
How are we doing on time, Timmy?
I was gonna ask that.
1 minute left.
What?
Awesome. I wanted this to be over with.
Oh,
What are you talking about, John? That looks good.
yeah. Thank you. I usually tell him that, but I don't think he believes me anymore.
I never did.
Never did. Yeah.
I feel like it's just starting to get interesting on this, and it's hard to stop.
Yeah. I took this as a warm-up.
How was live drawing earlier today?
Good.
It's great.
We drew famous artists. We drew
Manet.
Manet, Monet,
Cassatt.
Mary Cassatt, and who was the last?
Tamara.
Tamara de Limpica.
Yes.
I think everybody heard the alarm.
I did.
That's it.
I didn't want to hear the alarm.
Good alarm.
All right. I'm glad to get this one behind me and get warmed up.
All right, so we're moving on to the next image. In between images, though, don't wait until the end. Post your images now. That way, you're not racing the clock when we check it out at the end. So post your work now. So go to Instagram or Facebook. If you're going to Facebook, though, you got to join our group and everything. And I recommend Instagram. I really do.
I do too.
Facebook is the best way to stay in touch during the week with everybody. And
It's a really nice community.
Yeah, it's just an awesome community. But for checking it out, to look at the images live tonight, post it to Instagram.
Remember to use the hashtag illustration isolation.
Yeah, if you just hit that copy tags on the page, hashtag illustration isolation, at Belen Assad and at Visual Arts Passage. But most importantly, you got to tag the photographer. She's awesome for letting us use these images. And Alice has a new photographer that I think we'll be including next week, which will be really exciting. We'll be announcing that soon. So, but really great art, really great art.
Well, Alice has been doing a good job already, so I'm excited to see what comes next.
Somebody was asking about the folds, and like on this jacket, you can really see the lights in the dark. You can see the cast shadow. You can see some really nice edges. If you get those shapes right, then some of the secondary things are easier to handle. The link to the previous work we were doing, the ones with Monet and Manet, that's part of Studio Bridge. And if you sign up, I think all the past episodes are up on the website, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm just curious, who in the crowd's drawing with us for the first time tonight? And also, we've had a few artists who I've heard call it lurking. You got to draw. If you're going to attend, you should draw with us.
Yeah. I get it if they've been here like maybe for the first time and they just want to watch. But it is, you know, don't be afraid.
Especially since after doing it for so long, it's been fun to look at my pile and just see improvement.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like Bill, I liked seeing your post with the collection of pictures.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. And that's just, oh my
That's
God,
cool.
that's just a little sampling.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've got like well over 200 now.
I swear I'm going to move on.
I mean, when's our anniversary coming up for drawing? Or 1 year?
I'm not sure. It's got to be close.
All right, I'll stop. I'm moving on.
I think I've only missed 1 or 2. Johnny, you haven't missed any.
Nope. Not yet. Tonight, I thought might have been my first.
Is that because of all the portfolio reviews?
No, I'm just, I don't know, just tired and kind of headache,
Oh, I'm sorry.
staring at my screen too long.
You need those glasses that tint things.
Cassandra, I've worn the blue light blocking glasses for a couple of years now, and
Do they help?
They I'm gonna ruin it for a lot of people. They did this study this year that NPR just did like a whole special on. I can't remember what it was on, and it's just they said it does absolutely nothing. They said it's just absolutely there's no difference. But they said the one thing that they did recommend was you just can't stare at your screen. Just don't stare at your screen. So we've been recommending it for our classes every 30 minutes or so. Just you're supposed to look away from your screen and just not look at your just don't look at your display for 30 to 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Like every half hour. And supposedly that really works well. It's hard to remember to do though.
True, you'd have to set kind of alarms for that kind of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been wearing like joke glasses. like to help with headaches and stuff. And it just it did nothing.
Oh. I mean, for me, it's nice to know I'm not missing something.
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
Like the real simple option, which is so often so many things that we need to be doing, like, oh, you just need to eat well, eat vegetables, eat fruit. In this one, just don't stare at the screen nonstop.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. I feel like the most stressful thing for me is water. I'm probably gonna die young because I didn't drink enough water. Like I have to remind myself every time. I'm not like, I know people that they just naturally do it.
Yeah.
I have to have visual cues. So like I'll have a Nalgene and it's marked for 32 ounces and I know I have to make it through that and do another. So like that helps me, like visual cues.
Yeah. Somebody said they're called Cody, I did. Christopher the model was my hydro homie for a while. And when he stayed at our house, that was his biggest pet peeve. And the thing he did the most consistently would be, Timmy, how much water have you drank today?
Oh my God. I just, if I'm thirsty, I drink water,
Yeah.
If I'm hungry, I eat. I mean,
No, Bill, if I'm thirsty, I buy something on Amazon. It's like it's so inconsistent. I don't know how to listen to my body. I'm like, something's wrong. Maybe I should.
Oh my God. And it's hilarious.
I did have a doctor. He did tell me that I was probably drinking enough water. He referred to it as don't let big water make you anxious. Like big oil, big water.
For a while I was into mountain climbing, and so I was with a group and they would always we'd scream at each other, hydrate or die, hydrate or die. And so now I even have my kids chanting and I was like, time to drink water, and they'll be like, hydrate or die. It's a little 4-year-old. Serious.
What type of mountain climbing were you doing? Was it like cliff mountain climbing or the spectrum of steep hill versus cliff?
Well, we did Rainier, but we got
wow.
blown off the top. We made it. We were like 300 feet short of the summit, so we got the hard part done. But the storm picked up so bad, we had to get down, and it was a rough climb. So I haven't done a mountain that big since because we had a couple avalanches. Everybody was okay, but it
Oof.
showed me the reality of climbing, and I came home with my face was I had a terracotta beard of exposed skin just from wind rash, and I was like, I don't think this is worth it for me. I'm better with backpacking, so I kind of more switched to backpacking. And now I'm a mom of small kids, so it's all about day hikes when I can.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm terrified of heights, so yeah, like a tall ladder is enough for me. So you did Rainier, and then did you say was Rainier kind of the biggest attempt that you tried?
Yeah, so it's the biggest in the lower 48. So that's it's one of those ones that they joke you can either show up and you get Rainier, or you can show up and you can get Everest, because the wind is so changeable. It has its own weather system. So it really changed on us. We got some very bad weather, and I tried more mountain climbing. I did a ton of hiking to prepare. We were fully prepared for it. So then we went out to Colorado and we're we're just gonna do some fun mountains and just some small 14ers, nothing big. And then a huge storm blew in then, and so they started calling me the weather witch when I showed up. Bad weather was going to be on a mountain. So yeah, I haven't.
You say 14s, and I know you mean 14. Is that
14,000? Yeah.
14,000 feet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which ones did you do in Colorado?
Oh,
Did you do
I
Like,
can't remember all the names. I remember, like, one I remembered was Sherman, just because I thought it was so funny that the name of the mountain was named Sherman, and it was supposed to be easy, but we got horrible wind. We got blown off of Sherman.
you know what town you were close to by any chance?
Well, we started out staying in Golden, but then it was, gosh, this was like 9 years ago. So when I was doing that, I'd have to look it up.
Were there a bunch of mountains that were like Ivy League schools by any chance, like Princeton and just trying to figure out where you were?
Yeah. See, what is the town that's like? Is there a town that's like above 10,000 feet?
Telluride, Leadville.
Yeah. We were around Leadville. We did some climbing around there. Yeah.
Yeah, so you did the. I kind of know where you are. The Collegiate Mountains there.
Yeah, we tried some of those. But then I really had fun. I loved climbing with people and just hanging out. It's always a fun crowd, and got super into just like, I loved training for it. I thought that was always fun. I felt really good.
What is
Yeah.
training for? Because those are not, are those, does Rainier have like technical aspects to it, or is it?
I mean, you have to rope up, like, there was a certain amount of climbing experience for the trail we took that was required. Oh, somebody climbed Sherman. So yeah, Sherman is not so bad, but I got blown off of Sherman. Yeah, so depending on what trail you take or what route you take, you need a little bit more experience than others. I was
Probably like seasonally too.
Yeah. And so we just had a bad 3 days on that mountain.
Did you ever get into like bouldering? Or
I did a little bit, but I think I just really prefer throwing a pack on and going for a hike instead. Bouldering, like, I had some good friends that were really into it, and so they were really big into like technical climbs and bouldering, and then they would also do caving. So I did a little bit of caving with them for a bit, and that was really fun. But
no, thank you.
That would be the end of me right there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they would like check out tunnels, and I'm like, no, I'm not that adventurous. So I felt like I had a couple years where I was like really outdoorsy, and I tried a lot of interesting kind of outdoor experiences that I thought was fun. But really what I've learned from all of this is I love backpacking, hiking, and camping.
Yeah, I can get down with that.
I like, the adrenaline rush isn't my thing.
Probably have to do a lot of training so you get to the point where you can even climb a small mountain.
Yeah, I was definitely trained up at that point. I was in a really good place because I'm only 5'2", and my pack would be 60 pounds, and I was comfortable with it.
Oh yeah.
So I was the person that would be at the gym on the stair mill with my pack, like training, and just in like my hiking boots. I would have like tough feet for it.
When the weather got really cold here, when it was like -20 for 5 days in a row.
Oh my gosh.
I can't go a day without, like, I rely on cardio to stay sane.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just walked up and down our basement stairs for like half an hour. It was pretty depressing.
But way to like figure out a way.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because I don't have like a treadmill or anything like that. When I was in Belize like in 2006, I guess, and there was a cave there, and this is actually really on the topic of cave exploring.
Mm-hmm.
There was this like swimming area, and we were not, I mean, it was like a river, and we were in this like swimming hole, and we just swam into this cave, and we had no idea. It was one of the largest cave networks in the world. It's the
Wow.
longest one in Central America.
That's so
It's
cool.
called the I can't remember what it's called. Something Chickabuel or something. But it's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's one of those things you don't realize until you're an adult that you're like, that was.
Oh yeah.
And it's amazing that there are just like missing posters of me in Belize.
Yeah, there's some stuff where I was like, I think if I had a little bit more hindsight, I would maybe have not made that choice.
Yeah. No, I could not. Isn't it spelunking? Is it spurlunking or spelunking?
So, like, this is the thing I found fascinating with hanging out with a group of cavers. So they call amateurs spelunkers, and like hardcore cavers are cavers.
Oh wow.
Bill, they don't know it's spelunking.
He's a spelunker.
I thought Bill would laugh at that. He's good friends with Greg.
He's muted. He's probably laughing.
He's laughing so hard he can't unmute it right now.
Yeah. John, you know, there's a cave by my dad's, just on the topic of caves, there's a cave, by Trayvon Printing.
I've been in it.
You've been in it. So this cave, Cassandra, it was like an industrial commercial cave. It was a natural cave that was, it wasn't natural. Wasn't it for mining something at like the turn of the century?
I don't know. I went in it because my buddy Kevin Pastilli with the Marriott, they rented the space. That's where they stored all their extra furniture.
Yeah. So was it in the 90s? It started going structurally south. That my dad, their business was using it, and I mean I remember going through it with Duffy, John, and we were in a car and we got lost. Driving a car through this cave. Oh, you could drive through it. Yeah, it was massive. I mean, probably millions of square feet. Wow. I would guess. I was a little kid.
City is really big on caves.
I was a little kid, so I don't really remember it, but I remember my dad saying like, yeah, it's totally safe. They just said that there's just a couple, a loose rock would fall and like dent someone's car. Like things that in the 90s didn't seem like that big of a deal. And he said that one day they went and there was like an auto shop down there, and they opened the door and just all the cars were completely crushed. And they were like the whole section had caved in. So everybody kind of backed out on their leases.
Maybe the reason I was in there was Kevin took me in there. This is how long ago Marcia and I had just gotten married, and we wanted some extra furniture, and they had to get all of their, the furniture they had stored in there from the Marriott. And I went in there with Kevin. He said, hey, we got to take all this stuff out. Take whatever you want.
So that was the timer that just went off. So post your photos, get ready for the next image. We'll kind of keep chatting, but share your work with us. Hashtag illustration isolation on Instagram. John, there was a boxing gym down there. I know you probably went to that.
I was in there a couple of times.
And then my cousin told me that there was a punk rock venue down there, which is when you think about it, is
That feels most
terrifying.
appropriate of all of them.
Yeah, but when you think about that, it turned out to be an unstable cave system.
True.
You're like, yeah, but
Make all the noise you want.
yeah, they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. It was wrapped up in, I mean, it's probably more myth than it is history at this point. There was a lot of Prohibition era business running out of there. But the craziest thing is it flooded as caves do when they're like unattended, I guess. And I saw somebody was given like canoe tours through it,
Oh my God.
which is also terrifying. I mean,
This
Sounds
is the
like a
most
healthy
random
move.
cave ever that has a
not a good
bathroom,
idea.
a punk venue, storage, and canoe tours.
I don't think. I mean, it's like sealed up now, but I love stuff like that. Somebody was telling me there's like, a couple caves downtown and you can just access them through like built like basement doors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Kansas City's got caves everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
there's huge storage facilities. The little town where my wife is from is where like all the Apollo stuff is stored underground in very stable caves.
Yeah. Does anybody know the Portland, Oregon like tunnel system story? When I lived there, they had an offensive name for it or outdated name for it. But when I lived there, there was like a tunnel network downtown that they had this story that it was like how these tunnels went from the bars to the Willamette, and it's how they would basically get some guy drunk, get him on a ship, like run him through the tunnel, get him on the ship, and then the person would wake up from this like drugged stupor at sea, the next day, and they'd have to like work for the next 3 years on these ships.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it was the Shanghai tunnels, and that's what yeah. But anyway, it was this story that everybody told us, like it was taught in history classes. It was kind of like the Arabian, what's the boat downtown, John? It's like the school trip. Every kid went and learned the story in Portland. And when I was living there, there was this like investigative journal piece by the Oregonian that was like, there's absolutely nothing true about this story.
What?
It was like cracked open and it was just like, it's not true at all. And there was such a business around the little tours that these companies were basically like, okay, but we're still going to teach it.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Not a true story
Arabian?
at all.
Is that right?
The Arabian, Steamboat Arabia, right?
Yep.
Every kid that grew up in Kansas City has seen the donkey skeleton of the Steamboat Arabia museum. Yeah.
That's like the Jack the Ripper tour in London. And I know we have some UK people. I'm not sure if you're still on because it's so late, but I read the Patricia Cornwell book where she went and decided to put current investigative tools like DNA evidence and stuff to discover who actually was Jack the Ripper. And it goes against a lot of the lore that they're familiar with. And so it really upset a lot of people, and they were not a fan with her findings because it was an artist. Why am I blanking on his name? But it was a well-known artist that she said his DNA matched the envelopes to the letters sent to the newspapers. And so I went on a tour after the book came out and they were just like, nope, not true. We refuse to believe it here. And they like it being a little bit more, it could be this or that, or.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
if you solve it, then it ruins their business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening there's an armchair expert. They talked with the conspiracy theorist researcher, what's his name? David Ferrier. and he talks about how, like, you know, if any of these documentaries were to uncover Bigfoot, it would just devastate the whole Bigfoot industry.
Yeah. I have to listen to that one.
Yeah. It's just because so many of these documentaries that they're like, and in the next tune back in after this, you know, commercial break, you'll find out if we find Bigfoot.
Right.
Yeah, it was funny having read the book because it's like, oh, 99% accurate that this is who it was. And like I went to England and they were like, nope.
That is interesting. People just want the story. Somebody said Walter Sickert.
Yes, Walter
Ring a bell?
Sickert. Thank you. That was driving me nuts. I really appreciate that you did that. Yes, his paintings were very violent, and the paintings matched some of the crime scenes. Like, you know, when Patricia Cornwell laid it out, it was, you know, you're kind of like, oh, yeah, this all makes sense.
Yeah.
Lee, someone in the audience, Lee, are you in Portland? And did I tell the tunnel story right? Confirm it. I need a Portlander stamp of approval. Confirmed from someone else, but good. I'm gonna assume that you're from Portland.
That's funny.
Are we gonna have some Monica fact checking later, Timmy?
Yeah, we'll do some fact checking. I did just get confirmation that we can publicly acknowledge that Raymond Bonilla has been inducted into the Art Dads.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Their baby is adorable.
Yes.
We should have some kind of ceremony.
yeah. I don't want you guys to think you have more power than you. Yeah. Sure, Bill. Come on, present it. I kind of want to see what you come up with.
Like a special hat that he has to wear.
No, I feel like it's
Yeah.
more like Scotch Guard or things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we'll get him a dad cap. Yeah. Some jean shorts.
Short.
Jorts, yeah.
Cargo pants.
Cargo pants, yes. Which I own neither of those things.
Some tall tube socks to wear with the jorts.
With stripes on the tube socks.
I'm like Dale Stefanos with spandex when it comes to cargo shorts.
Ooh, Crocs, good one.
Crocs with socks. That's the way to go. We're coming up on our 50th episode.
And we were asking that question. I think you weren't listening. You were muted or something. But Bill and I were trying to figure out when the 1 year anniversary was.
Yeah, that's one of those like excited and then disappointed when you realize when you contextualize it, you're like, oh, it's awesome. We've been doing this for a year. And then you're like, why have we been doing this? Oh no, I can't believe it's been a year of you know, quarantine isolation.
Right.
Yeah.
You just totally did the Debbie Downer, like, wah wah, celebration. Oh,
Yeah, I know. You're like, awesome. Whoa. No, it's really cool. I mean, 50 episodes. How many drawings would that be? Pretty simple math.
200.
hmm
Wow. 200 drawings.
If you're not counting the bonus photos that you release sometimes.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have, especially the regulars, have probably definitely drawn more than 200.
hmm Bill, someone's asking what kind of ink you're using for the monotype.
Oh yeah, so before I was using oil paint, just black out of the tube, and the paper I'm using isn't absorbing it the way I like. And the last one, it started to tear the paper in places. So I switched and made this really lovely violet color of watercolor. And so I'm going to try to do, a monotype with watercolor, which I've done before.
Royalty.
What's that?
The color of royalty there.
Yeah, it's very purple. So, which I've coated the plate. This is just a piece of aluminum from the hardware store, so plexiglass works better. And also, if you use watercolor, you can take kind of a mix of dish soap and water, and put a kind of a layer on the plate as a resist, and then put watercolor paint on it, and it seems to work really well. But I've used this method when the watercolor method I've used when teaching kids how to do monotypes, as a way to avoid having them exposed to oil paint and all the solvents and stuff.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, it seems to work okay. So we'll see how it goes here.
Having to clean them up before their parents pick them up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul Silva says the anniversary is April 17th. I
thought it was March something.
Yeah, I think it's got to be March. But I don't know. That was a blurry time of year.
No kidding.
Yeah. All I remember is our first pose was Christopher as the boxer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, if I've dated
Such a good sport.
He was getting a lot of perks at our house, Cassandra.
I thought you meant sport because he was a boxer.
Yeah.
Oh, unintentional pun.
Yeah. No, it was about this time last year that I think he was in Hawaii, and he was like, hey, I'm thinking about flying back probably, late April. And I was like, you can wait until then, but we might kind of turn you away, depending on how things go.
Right.
I was like, if you want to, and then he changed his flight pretty quick.
Yeah.
But,
that was a good challenge to be able to, to do the lighting and kind of pose, take turns posing in different ways. And
it was fun. It really was a 3-person job.
yeah.
It seemed like it.
Yeah, that was when I, you know, on the topic of like, I mean, I know it was a really difficult and there was a lot of horrible things going on at that time, but I look back at when when Christopher was living with us and I was texting him about it the other night. I was like, you know, I really learned a lesson about trying to enjoy things when they happen for what they are.
Mm.
Because we were every week there was a costuming event that occurred, and we always on Thursday nights, every night after the figure drawing, we had a karaoke night,
Oh, fun.
and it was a blast. I mean, we were all very emotionally stressed out, so we did not like, it wasn't, it was a very emotional karaoke night.
Right.
But because I think we were all pretty keyed into what was happening, one way or another. But man, I think it was like really, I don't know, if not fun, just really very interesting, special time, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to bond your friendships and your relationship with your wife in a way that, like, you know, nothing else but crazy circumstances can do.
I remember I had like a really bad day, and Christopher came to like my office door and kind of knocked and opened it. He goes, "Does this mean karaoke is canceled?" Really quietly, and I was like, "I guess you guys can do karaoke if you want." You know, and then like he kind of like quietly went back to the living room, and then the next thing I hear is like a really loud Lady Gaga song playing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to find the good moments in the bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you know, you can't just.
It would have, oh
Overwhelming
man, yeah.
otherwise.
It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been too much. Christopher is in Ojai, California right now, and every once in a while he'll text me about some little thing that's bothering him, and I'll be like, I don't feel bad for you at all. You're in Ojai, California right now.
Right.
Especially if you were in your minus 20 degrees phase.
Yeah, he doesn't complain much, but if he does, I'm sure he'll come back to visit family sometime soon, and we'll have to do a revival. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were some fun nights, you know, like the Seinfeld night, and
Yeah.
I remember when he dressed as a shepherd.
It was so funny.
I mean, that was a time we didn't know like if we could go into my mom's house to like get clothing for the costume, you know?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's how careful we were really, I mean, I'm sure we were more careful than other people. For better or for worse, but it kind of was a creative exercise to be like, you have to make this costume, and we're not going to Hobby Lobby.
Right.
Like these are the things you have.
I honestly, I feel like I know your wife as Wednesday Adams. Like that's the only way.
I remember I FaceTimed George in my garage, and he was trying to tell me, it was during the illustration. So the event was occurring live. I had just taken the photos, and then he FaceTimed me because we had not figured out the fourth pose, the fourth costume.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, George, this is my garage. What do you like? You know, like we were just grabbing stuff, and it was fun.
That's fun. Yeah, I remember that one and the Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands. Yeah.
And then the Elaine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Audrey sent me both the Elaine and Kramer drawings she did.
Oh, those were so
I
good.
love them.
I hope you framed them or are going.
Yeah, we did. I got them for Christmas for G. So
Oh, that's nice.
yeah.
So smart. Especially since such unique memories are associated with them.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's what made it so cool. I really like that stuff. But you know, it's like so much of this has been cool. When we did the photos by my dad, that's something that'll always be really special to me.
Yeah, that was really special.
I don't know. Who's somebody in the audience? What's favorite drawing night? Let us know. When we hit a year, I'm gonna make a best of.
Somebody said that today is day 354 in lockdown.
Depends on where you are in the world.
Well, yeah.
Tuskegee Airmen, that was a great one. That was
Yeah.
Terry Brown did his slide. That was awesome.
I was thinking about that one the other day because I watched Red Tails.
Oh, yeah. I remember becoming familiar with it. I haven't seen it. Did you like it?
I liked it. I mean, it's there were a couple things that I thought, were a little predictable, but
Is it is it more drama or more action?
there's a lot of action.
Yeah.
And there's some drama. Some of it's a little telegraphed.
Like good movies, there's a little bit about yeah.
Yeah, some of it's
Yeah.
telegraphed,
Yeah.
and I don't. That's the part of it that I wish. It's like you think something's going to happen, and then it does, and
Yeah.
and you're like, they did that. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. I don't know. In a way, it's a very uplifting film,
Yeah.
which is odd to say because of the subject matter, but it's got a good cast too. I mean, very young Michael B. Jordan.
I just remember
He's-
him from
he's
Friday
so
Night
great.
Lights.
What's
Michael
that?
B. Jordan was in Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. So that's like his like that was his debut, right?
I think that's when I first remember him. And it was like he didn't join the cast till like the third season.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was very good in that.
I still haven't seen Fruitvale Station, which I'd like to see. Go
I
ahead,
haven't.
Nico.
I haven't seen it either, Bill.
Yeah.
But I heard it's amazing. It's shot by a cinematographer named Rachel Morrison,
Yeah.
which I got to edit like Rachel Morrison is like one of the most successful women cinematographers in Hollywood right now.
Yeah.
And I got to edit a chicken wing commercial that she shot.
That's cool.
Some great bragging rights.
No, it's like so funny because
I love how random it is.
but if you look at her her portfolio, people will be like, wait, what? That you're like, oh, I actually edited something that she shot, and people are like, oh, cool, and then you say it, they're like, wait, what? That doesn't really count.
No, it totally counts, and I think it makes it even
No.
better because.
And I was like, it was so not. It was like editing like GIFs and stuff. Like it was so for what she did was great. She is an amazing cinematographer. She shot an amazing commercial, but I was such a small, tiny cog in the process. But she was, I believe, the first woman to be nominated for Best Cinematographer.
Oh, that's cool.
Academy Awards, and I think it was for. I'm gonna look it up because I want to know. I think it was a Netflix film.
I thought you were going to say the chicken wings thing.
So I worked with Henry Selick once, years and years ago, but it was on a Ritz Crackers commercial. Did animatic backgrounds, so it wasn't anything cool like James and the Giant Peach or.
I think she got nominated for Mudbound. Like she's the cinematographer for Black Panther.
Wow.
Yeah, she's really awesome. I met her because she's shot for the Wade brothers a lot.
So were you just like, I edited your chicken wing commercial? Like, were you really awkward when?
I sent her an email when she got nominated, and she responded back, which I thought was wild, with like a thank you for the congrats. Which I just imagine there was a million. I imagine there were a million people that sent like a congrats email. But
she knows if you hadn't edited the chicken wing commercial, she would.
Oh my God, I don't even want that to be in a recording that she could hear. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you could put that, you edited her work.
I don't even think my edit had anything to do with like the televised version of it. I was editing like digital ad clips.
You don't have to say what it was for. You just, you worked with her.
I love these random, like 7 degrees of separation of like unique, like you've somehow been connected to very interesting people in very odd ways to me.
Yeah. It's that was the clock, by the way. So while we talk, moving on to the fourth pose.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move on right now. I'm not a
post your work. Hashtag illustration isolation on Instagram. Yeah, when I was in my
hey, I was your wingman on the chicken wing commercial.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know. If you want to work with somebody, you should go to their website and see if they have an email there. And you should email. That's what I would recommend. That's how I met most of those people. I never met Rachel in person though, so but like the Wade brothers, I worked with a guy named, when I was in Portland, I worked with a director named Sky Fitzgerald who does spin film, and I always forget I interned with him because I read an article in the Oregonian. He had gotten I'm trying to remember where he was. He had filmed a documentary in let me see so I get it right. It was called Bomb Hunter, and he was going to Cambodia telling a story of like people digging up these bombs that had not detonated, and basically removing the explosives to sell the metal, to like scrap the metal. So it obviously like this insanely dangerous job. But I was like, it was just like a couple months ago, and so I got to work with him for a while. I emailed him because I called the reporter at the Oregonian, and they passed his email on to me. And I think he was so weirded out when I called him that he was like, I guess I'll give you an internship. But he just got he just got shortlisted for an Academy Award for filming. He did Lifeboat, which is about the Syrian refugee crisis, and then Hunger Ward too, which is weird. I haven't seen him for like 10 years, but it was like last year when we were watching the Academy Awards, they did the pan, and it was like him sitting in the crowd.
Wow.
That's cool. Well,
Did anybody see there was a question? It says, do you have any tips for using charcoal in general? Also, how long do you have you guys been doing art professionally?
You don't want to know.
long time.
Me since 40 years, exactly. Started when I was 20 and I just turned 60.
Any tips for using charcoal in those 40 years?
I used a whole bunch of it this morning. And I tell you, after my drawings this morning, maybe try something else. No, I'm just kidding. When you use charcoal, I start with charcoal a lot of things to be very vague, to make things very out of focus, and then work from the vague to the specific. Use things. And first of all, I don't use vine charcoal. I use compressed charcoal, so I have a little bit more control of it. But use materials that are right for the job. You're not going to be doing a lot of rendering with a really soft piece of charcoal, but you can get some great textures and do some great mark making and really set up a drawing, and then bring it back in focus with a material that's more appropriate for detail. That make any sense?
Yeah.
I hope so.
I've been, let's see. Well, I did my first professional job while I was in college, which was 1986. And then probably really started working professionally in 89. So that's what, 32 years?
And the only difference is I'm older than you.
Yeah.
Probably both started around the same age. I'm just a little older.
I look back, I mean, I knew nothing. You knew very little. And, but, you kind of learn along the way.
Well, the catch is I think there's that's some of it, Bill, but I think that you got to be ready to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Because once it gets started, it really gets going, and you got to be able to keep up.
Yeah.
Really good point.
I mean, the reward for doing a good job is another job.
That's right.
So you do a good job, you meet your deadlines, you get work out there, and you get more work for the most part.
I always say that it's like I worked really hard to get started, but that was nothing like what happened once I got started.
Right.
And I worked a lot harder just to keep up.
Yeah.
Somebody asks, what do you do if you can stay motivated or aren't great at promoting yourself?
You won't work.
Yeah, get motivated. Don't worry. Don't wait for motivation. It's not going to come.
Yeah.
Just start working. Work on things you like to work on.
Yeah, you just said it, Bill. It's like that's the trick to being motivated, to enjoy it.
Work on something you want to work on, and then do the kind of work that you want to get. I mean, there's room for so many different types of work, you know.
Well, also like doing this work, you know, just like us practicing drawing all the time is like strengthening a muscle. So learning to work when you're not motivated is a legit skill, and it takes time to adapt to working even when you don't want to, because you've got deadlines and there's people depending on you to do the work. So it's
Right.
hard, and maybe you have to get up and do something else for a few minutes to get your brain back in the game. But a lot of it is an acquired skill of learning to work even when you're not in the mood, because
Absolutely.
you got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And
that's
you know,
hard.
really, every time I've not wanted to work, the antidote for that is to work.
Right.
I start working.
Always keep something around that you're really interested in when you're not, you don't feel like working. Something you want to do, keep it handy so that you can pick it up and work on that. And that will get you back in the game.
Yeah.
Stay away from your couch.
Yes.
Mhm. Or social media, if that's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of making something bad, I think.
Oh yeah. You're going to, whether you want to or not.
Or
Yeah.
even simple things like, okay, you know, I've had days where I really don't want to work, and I'll just set a goal like I'm going to work for 30 minutes and I'm going to see where I can get this in 30 minutes. And I make it 30 minutes, and if I've made some progress, I'll set another 30 minutes. If it's just going really bad, I'll have something else that is still work that I'll move over to for a little bit to try to move past it. Like I'm always refurbishing frames, so maybe I'll pull something out. But yeah, it's just sticking to committing to do the work.
Yeah, I would think it'd be overwhelming to say I'm going to sit down and paint for 9 hours.
Right.
Or draw for 9 hours. I'm going to stare at my screen for 9 hours. But if you can say, I'm going to sit down for 30 minutes and I'm going to get a lot done in 30 minutes, you'll be there longer. It's
kind of like that whole thing where, you know, if you need to work out, they say, and you need to find motivation, get in your workout clothes.
Uh-huh.
You know, taking those little baby steps to try to get past whatever's blocking you.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Just mix your palette, you know, or turn your computer on and start playing with it, you know.
Yeah, I was also going to say, Cassandra, on the topic of working out, it changes you on a chemical level to work out. If you're not motivated, me personally, I would say, if I'm not motivated to work, my first thing is basically, if I go on a run, or if I go lift weights, or I go just do some type of exercise for 20 minutes, and I go back and I can see if I can get something done. And it always helps.
Yeah. And that's like really good for you. For me, if I break away too much, I don't get back to it. But like I've heard of other people where if they go work out, it helps clear their brain and it really works. So that's a really good technique too.
Yeah, it's different for everybody. My thing is like I want it's like if you can focus, like I want when I'm like not in the mood, and I totally I totally relate to this question. If I'm not motivated and not in the mood to work, it is a massive waste of time to just kind of stare at my screen and kind of get distracted by different things
Yeah.
and kind of have my foot halfway in it. And sometimes I try to figure out, I think maybe if there's a through line, try and figure out how to hit the reset button,
Mhm.
whatever that is for you.
Well, I think the one of the biggest payoffs of living your life as an artist and making it your career is that if you're going to do it, you need to enjoy it, and you need to be thinking about where your work fits, that you're going to enjoy that type of work the most. You need to really consider that. Aim your skill sets to the things that excite you.
Yeah.
And motivation should not be an issue if you're enjoying it. If you're, and then what I was suggesting before, I'm going to explain it a little bit further, is that if we all do this because we like to do it, that's one of the biggest payoffs of it. I mean, because it's challenging. There's rough times, there's hard times with it at times. You have to work hard, but if you're enjoying it, that's a huge payoff.
Well, I think some of the question isn't just enjoying painting, but there is a lot of aspects to this that probably aren't the passion part.
Well, where I was
getting your way, I understand what you're saying, but I was like getting motivated enough to like send out promotional cards or something.
Well, it doesn't. Yeah. The catch is, if this is where I was going with it, if it's your livelihood, you get pretty motivated. Right. I supported my family with it, and you have to be motivated. But the times that I got down, keeping projects aside, projects that excite you, and using them when you are down. Always be looking for something. Always keep something set aside that you can pick up and be excited about, and that will get you through it. It's always worked for me.
Yeah.
And the other stuff, sending mailers or emailing art directors, promoting yourself, that's all part of it. You got to take care of every aspect of it. It doesn't work without it.
Right. And sometimes you're gonna do that, and you're not gonna get a response. Sometimes you're gonna do that and you're gonna get a great response. And you have to kind of be aware of what's out there. You have to be aware of what, send work to people. Like if you're sending work out, don't just blindly send work out. Think about who you're sending it to. What do they use? What do they do?
Bill, it's really interesting to me because there is an irony to, picking what Brent has called working in the toy aisle of the store.
Yeah.
Having the fulfilling career of, when you're younger, you become an artist because it seems like a promising opportunity at happiness. And I think kind of reminding yourself that, so you're not stressed out by this idea of, because I think that there can be like an undue stress of my career isn't providing me endless joy. And it's just like, that's a concept that was invented pretty recently.
Yeah.
This idea that your job is supposed to make you happy.
Yeah.
Not to be negative about it, but many people before you were not, didn't get to have the toy aisle job. So
Yeah.
don't pressure yourself too much to think that you're, it's supposed to be perfect.
Right.
But again, and it's a combination of enjoying it and taking it seriously. The people I know that get to the top in this industry are the people that put the most effort into it. And, there's talent, which might be intelligence. Not exactly sure what makes talent, or some people do things, but I think people do things easier than others, but I think it's interest more than anything. People that are committed to it and interested in doing it. And they, you know, I used to joke all the time, knowing Chris Payne really well or George Pratt, that they would, if they never found a way to be successful with it, they'd probably keep doing it just because they liked it so much. You know, they had so much enjoyment out of it.
Well, I mean, I can attest to that because there have been times, I mean, look, I've hit rough patches where there's no work. It doesn't matter what I'm sending out or how much I'm sending out or, you know, and so I've had to take other kinds of work, you know, to make a living. And, but I still like, you know, I love what I'm doing and I haven't given up on it as a thing.
Yeah, so I have a list in my phone of everything I try for. And I still feel very much like a baby artist. Like I'm still just trying to figure out where I belong and what I'm doing. But I have my list of everything I've tried for, and I call it my wins and fails. And I'll type it in when I try for it. And I always add the date, and then I add whether I was rejected or whether I was accepted. And it's been exciting keeping this list for a few years that I just keep adding to it to see that like the scales slowly tip to have less fails than and a little bit more wins and acceptances. And
Yeah.
like that is very encouraging to me when I will go through a phase of getting a lot of no's from trying, but learning that they're not really gonna, if it's a big no, a lot of them don't remember me, and I could always try again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, we've talked about this multiple times on here, is that artists deal with failure more than they do success. And that's just part of it. I mean, you even really successful artists fail more than they succeed. There's a lot of artists out there. There's a lot of people competing for things. You don't get the job, or you don't, you know, the job gets killed. You don't do a good job with it, whatever. But you have to learn to that's part of it. I mean, even on individual, I've done, that was my 7th drawing. I'm not drawing this last pose. That was my 7th drawing for the day. And I failed on a couple of them. That they're not, I mean, things were in the right place. They were competent as far as it looking like the person and all that, but they just weren't very good drawings. And that happens all the time. And,
Yeah.
And that's part of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this doesn't really look like the guy, but I think I like this more than some of the other ones that look more like, you know.
The monotypes you did this morning were killer, Bill. I was looking at all those. They were gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah, that was thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and that was a good look, but I learned each time I did one, I learned a little bit from doing them. And one thing about this business, I think when you're first starting out, is you're getting paid to learn how to do your job. And, you know, each job you do, you're going to learn something from. And there's not a lot of jobs like that, you know, where you get to, you know.
Is it like that in the photography world, Timmy?
Where
did you feel that way? That you felt like you were learning on the job?
I only learned on the job. I didn't go to photography school, so I stepped, the first time I stepped on a set, I knew nothing and started learning. But I would say not many assistants step into the situation that I was in with no experience. Not to boost my ego, I really was pretty studio dumb when I stepped on the set, but it's just because I was willing to do things that I didn't have a high and mighty idea of what my role had to be.
Right.
And so I swept the floor. I didn't think I had any sort of special talent. And I think I was at the time relatively normal to hang out with. So, you know, they would have lunch with me. They I would say maybe said something funny once or twice, and they're like, that kid's tolerable.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of studios where photography students from like photo schools come with a lot of baggage when you bring them on as an assistant. There's a stereotype for they think they're, and it's not always true. There's a lot of really great schools and stuff, but this idea that I don't want to bring a photo student on set because they're going to start saying how they think this should go. And, photo shoot is a different place because it's one of the rare instances where you might have 50 people who all have different jobs. At any other company, they'd all be in their separate cubicles and offices.
All right.
But in this setting, there are no walls. So
Yeah.
the dumbest person on set can go interrupt the smartest person,
Right.
which or not the dumb, but just the least skilled person.
Right.
Well, I'm being blunt, but
No, I think that's a good point. And I have talked to a few people who worked on movies, and one thing that they've said is that, you really have to be aware of who you're working with and be respectful of everybody working with, because the guy serving you food might be the AP at some point.
you know what? Somebody really early on told me a similar thing to that. I mean, I always have heard that, be nice to the receptionist.
Yes.
But I was on a set really early on, and somebody basically, because you hear these nightmarish stories of directors going on screening rants or yelling at people. And somebody early on was like, there are only like a couple places where there's like 100 people, all have different jobs, all operating, no walls. And they go, it's like the military and like film production.
Right.
and both are pretty intense locations, when you're in the middle of a production. But
And at the end of the job, everybody loses their job.
yeah, exactly. You're on to the next project. But I don't know. I mean, I got like, yelled at like a couple of times for good reason, for like not doing the right thing when I shouldn't have, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had a funny, you talk about perception of an artist or, job security, that type of thing. I had, when I was buying my first house, the bank that my parents banked at, and I, started banking there, and was a pretty young guy buying a house. And remember my banker being really hard on me and saying, what happens if you don't get work for 6 months? And I said, well, I can control that. And they said, well, what do you mean? How you control that? You're a freelance artist. It depends on, people hiring you. I said, yeah, but I'll just work harder and keep chasing and that type of thing. I said, my response was, I said, well, what happens if you get fired? I said, I can't get fired. And it's like, and it occurred to me that at that time that I felt like I had more control of my career than he did. And he didn't like me.
We're all taking risks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Yeah. I mean, talk about motivation, John. I mean, I remember I started renting that studio from you in the West Bottoms.
Yeah.
That was when I quit my job to start doing photography. And that was the easiest thing. It was, I have to make $900 a month. So I do kind of roll my eyes sometimes when somebody is, especially in photography. I'm not going to speak on illustration because I don't want to like ruffle any feathers. But in photography, I kind of rolled my eyes whenever anybody was like, oh, that's not paying well enough. I was just like, I don't care what it is. I got, 300 hours this month. I got to make $900.
Well, I mean, my ex and I have this expression, like $40 is $40 more than zero.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
there are some jobs that should pay more.
It's a tricky thing. You got to know when to put your foot down.
And there are times, when you have to weigh, like, what are you losing, what are you gaining, what's the risk of taking it or not taking it.
So Bill, there's so many jobs that have value beyond money too.
Yes.
Somebody yeah, I look back at some of the things I've done, for donating things for philanthropic situation, or
Yeah.
doing a project that was a great project that, like for a theater company, or for a zoo. I've done projects for the zoo
Yeah.
that they just didn't have a lot of money, but they have total creative freedom when you do it. And
Right.
everybody in the city sees what you do.
That's one
And
of the
there's,
reasons. Yeah.
you know,
That's one. Go ahead.
some of the I look back and think of some of the projects that did pay really well. I mean, when you're doing, editorial work, and you're doing cover work and stuff like that. Those were the ones that I would have done a lot of those for free, probably, because everybody could see them. Everybody saw them. I mean, I know it's not right. And I think as a professional, you have to be really careful about
Right.
the industry itself. Don't degrade the industry by doing things you shouldn't do for free. But there's certain things that you know
Right.
that are so good that the value goes way beyond the monetary aspect of it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I used to do a lot of newspaper illustrations, and they had really short deadlines, but they were a learning experience, and they were fun to do, and I could really do them any way I wanted. I could do them in black and white. Most of them were black and white, but I could draw, I could paint, I could do a monotype. And the ideation the process of working with the art director and doing sketches and getting feedback and then building a relationship was really valuable. And they were out there, so people saw them. And
Well, you just caught the tail end of this part of what I was going to talk about, Bill. Is that when I started, you had a portfolio. This was before the digital world and before
Right.
websites. You had to really to work for the best clients. You had to have a proof portfolio, and
yes,
that was a portfolio of pages cut out of magazines or ads that were proofs that were printed, that you had to put together and send to art directors.
tear
But,
sheets.
but you had to, you had to get the work somewhere, right? So you had to start somewhere. So people, now it's kind of an equal playing field. Nobody thinks about it. Everybody goes to somebody's website, and people, somebody can, be terrific and not have done any work in it, and they can get work right away.
Yeah.
Most of the work that I did was spec work, which meant somebody
Right.
I would meet at an agency would say, hey, and I know that the conversations behind closed doors there would be like, we think he's really desperate. He needs some work. Right. And I was like, my phone was not ringing off the hook. Like, most of my income was from assisting. And then occasionally I would get to like direct or like co-direct, like it was always part of a larger thing usually, but I would do spec work. And the deal was always like, my deal was always like, I'll shoot the spec. I want to meet somebody else at the agency. So I want to broaden, if I can add one contact to my list of people there, that's going to be helpful. And then if you guys get the gig, I want to be hired as like the director or the cinematographer. I want to be on the set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was
And-
value.
And I mean, but this is the truth of it. It's like 99% of the time, like, when you pitch something, it doesn't work out. So like most of the time, to no one's fault,
Right.
this never resulted in like a big, commercial photo shoot. Only one time did it like turn out that way. And, I did not end up on the set. And Nick Fedros gave me the best advice ever. He goes, stop doing the spec work for free. Tell them you'll do the spec for your day rate. If they get the gig, you'll shoot it for free. Right? And I was like, that's a business model.
Good idea. Yeah.
They're like, if we get the gig, he says they'll do it for free.
Yeah.
How are we doing on time, Timmy?
I just ended.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So we have a couple questions that I don't know if we have time to answer. It says, based on current topic of work, can you show examples of what you're each working on presently?
Probably not tonight.
That's a hard
That's
one.
a tough one. Yeah.
And then somebody asked, how did you decide on your style, or was it a natural progression?
That decided on me.
You should get
Yeah, I mean-
yeah, that's a question. You know, I'm gonna cut to the chase. You need to open up a Studio Bridge account.
Yes. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it's really great to see artists just reveal their process of where they got to.
Yeah, I mean, working, drawing, working, developing likes and dislikes.
I hope people are posting their work.
Yeah, me too.
Give it a couple more minutes, and then I have Timmy. I'm all queued up to share Instagram.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
Well, I want to give another minute or two here so that
Yeah.
they can get things loaded.
So Cody, you're welcome. I'm gonna just take my computer and the whole thing downstairs. My studio smells like mineral spirits. And
What's the just on the while we're waiting on the topic of motivation? What's the 4-hour week, the 4-hour work week guy? Timothy something?
I don't know that.
No, it's not Timothy. Wait, what is it?
4-day work week.
The 4-hour work week.
The 4-hour work week.
Mhm. Guy, you guys are laughing at this. This is like probably one of the most. It's like this in the Bible, like one of the most sold books.
That's hilarious. The 4-hour work week.
Timothy's 4-hour work week. I'm gonna look it up.
Um,
If you search 4 hours, Google says 4-hour work week.
okay.
Tim Ferriss. You should read Tim Ferriss.
All right. I'll
I'm referring to the student.
the student. Yeah.
Not you, Bill. I'm not like Bill.
Read it now, ASAP.
I forgot.
Yeah.
There's other people here.
Tim Ferriss is gonna be very helpful, Cody.
Cassandra, that looks really beautiful, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
That's just dynamite.
Thank you so much. You guys always do such good work. I'm just catching up.
Oh,
I love that. Nice piece.
I actually found a round piece of card. It was a pizza. I didn't find it. It was a pizza cardboard. You know, from a.
Dude, use it. Like seal it with a little clear gesso or whatever, and
Yeah.
go to
Oh
town.
yeah.
with it.
I was like, I thought about you, and I'm like, Cassandra would paint on this.
Definitely. These were like I ordered my groceries and these were at the bottom of the paper bag. So they were already cut. So I was excited about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so
Thank
it's funny,
you.
you know, the monotypes this morning, earlier, one of my cats, earlier tonight, one of my cats jumped up where those are, and I'm like, no.
All right, Timmy, I'm going to share my screen.
Awesome. Yeah, Bill, every time I see your video, there's like a cat roaming by in the background.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, I remember the cat jumping on the paintings and the.
It's so cool that they let you live there.
Exactly. This morning, I was the human trampoline.
All right, here we go.
Awesome.
Wow.
Sweet.
Wow.
I
that's
like
really
how
good.
you handled the transparency of the jacket or the cardigan, whatever that is.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I'm laughing. I printed mine out on kind of just black and white. I could not see any transparency at all.
I did.
I'm glad that somebody pointed that out. That's fun.
Nice.
Really nice silhouette too.
Very nice. Cool. Nice, Jeremy.
Maine, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Jermaine.
Jermaine.
You've been looking at a screen a long time, John. So.
Jermaine. Okay.
I just
Oh,
can't.
AJ,
No,
that's
it's tough.
gorgeous.
Awesome,
Thank
AJ.
Nice, AJ. God, AJ, you've been after me all day long. Jesus.
I want AJ to look at, AJ posted some drawings earlier that reminded me a lot of Gary Kelly's older pen and ink drawings.
Oh, that's really nice.
So,
That's fun.
you know,
Awesome,
yeah, so
Andy.
look those up, like Big Spider Becky, and
I really like the attitude of that drawing.
yeah, that's awesome.
The He's a punk rocker that would play in a cave.
Nice, Chuck.
Very nice.
Oh, really nice.
Doesn't that remind you like a 70s album cover?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm
Like,
expecting a VW bug in the background or a VW bus.
Like a Jim Croce album cover.
Yep, absolutely.
You just crop it. Wow, that's beautiful, Gary.
Nice,
That is
Gary.
beautiful.
Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
Flute.
Oh,
Oh, man.
nice.
Oh, that's really smart.
Feels
I
very
like
Shakespearean.
Fine.
that. Somebody says it looks like Hosier. Hosier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Nice.
I got to get rid of this menu. Sorry. Nice.
Oh, nice, Gary. Oh, that's cool.
Sweet.
Nice, nice, Ben.
Yeah, really nice.
Good job.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's got attitude. That's cool.
John, be sure to go to that inner arrow.
I'm on
Let's
it.
see
That's
if
how you
there's
handle
another
the
one.
hair.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, those are fun.
Mhm.
Actually,
Ooh,
nice, Sienna.
yeah, really nice.
You know, Chuck and Sienna are consistently here as much as anybody.
Yes.
Just did that. Well, that's fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very good.
Oh, really good.
Nice job, Julian.
It's got a very nice fashion feel to it.
Yeah, totally.
It's elongated too, and it works well.
Yeah.
Feels like a fashion piece. Nice, Julian.
Chuck says Sienna is joining from San Diego.
All right.
It was fun.
We were just talking about San Diego earlier.
The city.
Oh, we were talking about
The city is San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco.
We were talking about San Fran.
we were talking about
Coronado.
the hotel in San Diego,
Hotel Del Coronado.
Del Coronado. Oh, that's fun.
That's really nice.
Good one, Julian.
I like the line and tone combo in that. That's fun too.
Mhm.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice, Randy.
That's fun.
That's very cool.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's really beautiful.
Nice, Marcy.
Mhm.
What a great feel.
That looks like an album cover.
Yeah.
That I could totally see that as an album cover.
Oh, really nice. I love your color choices.
Nice, Casey.
Good hair.
Yeah,
Designed hair.
Nice.
very nice too. Whoa.
Cool
Sweet.
line work. It has movement.
Vibrating.
Sometimes I can't tell whether AJ's does his stuff digitally or not. That's one of the things I think I like about it.
It's one of the things I like about looking at art is when I can't figure out how somebody did it.
Yeah.
That's always exciting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Nice feeling to it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Great value structure to that.
There you go.
Oh yeah, you got a lot done in your time. You got a lot of the folds.
Nice, Rebecca. Oh, no, that's not Rebecca.
Yeah, that's Rebecca.
Yeah, it's Rebecca. Oh, who posted it for Rebecca?
No, Rebecca, I
Rebecca.
think opened a separate account so that could
Oh,
be public
okay.
demonstration
Yes.
isolation.
that whole family is just.
Three generations.
You have three generations of.
Karen, Rebecca, and
It's the first visual arts passage like legacy family.
We have several.
She'll be like, my grandma went to visual arts passage, my mom went to visual arts passage.
Oh, okay. So Rebecca says her husband's account is public.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Chuck and Sienna, do you have another generation you can add so you can add a third?
Yeah.
Keep up, Chuck.
Third generation visual arts passage family.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Nice.
There
Oh,
she
yeah.
is.
There you go.
Sweet.
Beautiful.
There's Felicity.
Chuck says stop, not ready for
I have
I was gonna say that.
I know. I was thinking the same thing, Bill.
Yeah.
I have an
I
envelope.
was just thinking
Let us
like
get-
maybe your mom or your wife's mom, or I don't know.
I have an envelope over here. I have an envelope here of Felicity originals that are great. They sent them
Really?
here.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm jealous.
I got to get my hands on a couple of those.
Man.
Yeah, I'm gonna send them to get framed. So
Oh, that's so neat.
I'm really jealous.
That's nice.
Oh, that's very cool. That's a nice one too. Nice texture.
Nice drawing, Ben. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's fun.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah. I really like the shapes in that one.
Of course, Vincent's in San Diego. Tony, that's wild.
That's cool looking.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's a nice one too.
Yeah.
Oh, Timmy's pulling out the envelope of drawings. Nice one, Chuck.
That's good, Chuck. Oh, very nice.
That's cool.
Wow, that's got a lot of energy to it.
It's like
John,
it's like
in-
chasing Ralph Steadman.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
you have to frame that, Timmy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What's really funny about
Oh,
that?
that's
is
really
that
nice, Andy.
all of her drawings we've drawn with her. So it's like I'm thinking about my drawing of your father on the front of that train. That's great. That's awesome. Nice, Andy. Hey, Doug,
Oh, cool.
you're quiet
That's
tonight, Doug.
cool. That went from like fashion to like that dark shadows that completely changes the mood. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Didn't miss. Yeah. Very nice. Oh, that's nice. Nice, Brian.
Yeah.
Since some
He
Ronald
also
Searle
has kind
territory.
of a Ralph Steadman quality to him.
Yeah. Do you know Ronald Searle's work?
Mm-mm.
He did the artwork for The Wall.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I feel bad I didn't know his name.
Great cartoonist.
I know it's not ink, but it has a Hirschfield feel to it. Also,
Oh, yeah.
if you don't know who Al Hirschfield is, look him up.
Also look up his chair.
Yeah. It squeaked like mine. He had a squeaky chair.
we're never gonna forget it.
Oh, that looks really nice. You did a
That's
good job
beautiful.
with that.
This is very
Wow.
well done.
Oh, hey, buddy. What's up,
Who's
girl?
that?
Oh, I like the lips. That's fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, Randy.
Oh, that's good.
I love the color in that.
Nice
Wow.
little watercolor. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Hey, what's up, girl?
I'm so impressed everybody got the time to put the clouds in the
No, I
background
did.
and everything.
I got to go backwards here because I just noticed. Hold on a second.
Oh,
There
what's
you go.
happening? Oh, cool.
Animation.
But, yeah, I just noticed it. I went
Beautiful.
by it. Procreate.
Sweet.
What's up, girl?
Somebody get Procreate to sponsor us.
Right?
Yeah.
Remember what I think that they said to us, that they're really Procreate's really interested to find people that are doing finishes in Procreate, and a lot
That
of
was
people,
so many years ago. I bet they've changed their opinion.
yeah, but there's a ton of people in the industry that use Procreate, and it's funny they use it for doing studies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun.
That's really fun. Great, thank you. That's another build here.
Here we go. Cool.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's great.
Very nice.
Nice. Nice.
Almost.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
On to the next.
Oh,
That's
nice.
great.
Hey, what's up?
Sweet.
Oh, that's a very nice piece. Cool. Very immediate.
Here's the photo of my wife.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Those are nice.
Nice line work.
Yep. Very nice. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
there you go.
Wow.
Wow.
That's cool.
I really like these.
I think that one is my favorite of his.
Yeah. Of tonight, yeah.
And you know, they're
Wait,
instantly
wait.
recognizable as the same
There you
person.
go.
I love the hands on that too.
Oh,
Mhm.
Oh, very nice.
AJ. Leave me alone, man. Really good.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Excellent.
Felicity.
Has a 1970s vibe to it.
This is a new era of her work.
Mhm.
Color
Mhm.
era.
Color.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
That's really
That's a winner.
You know, the Society of Illustrators, not the Society, but American Illustration is coming up.
Yeah, seriously.
And
It
enter some
would
of
be fun to
these
enter a bunch of her work.
into American Illustration
Yeah.
because I think they would print them.
Rebecca's the only person that could be like, my kid can do. I don't see what's so special about it. My kid could do that. She's at a museum. My kid could do that.
Oh, that's really got nice attitude, Vincent.
Yeah.
I love that.
Good job, Ben.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool too.
Very fun.
Cool.
That's cool.
Oh, nice. Whoa.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that pink block.
Sweet.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, check out Alberto does some time lapses like this one.
Here
he's
we go.
doing.
Oh, sweet.
And he does some he'll paint with a razor blade.
He is right there, I think.
Looks
Yeah.
like he's doing it.
Yeah, he's doing it with a razor like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's more of these on his.
Bill's just describing the video.
There you go.
We've all been
My
online
last
too long today.
illustration isolation.
Yeah. It was like, yeah. Yeah, and then sometimes he uses a white marker at the end.
Very cool. Thank you.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was really fun. What was that?
Oh,
There you go, Doug.
That's a nice one.
Always good.
Reminds me of a little Mark Summers.
Yeah, it does have that feel.
Oh yeah.
like a James Taylor album.
Yes.
Missed you in study hall last night, Doug.
Ooh,
Oh, that's really nice.
really beautiful.
I was waiting for a travel poster from Doug Bell last night.
Yeah.
That's really nice, Heather.
That's gorgeous.
Wow, good piece.
Yeah.
That's fun to do.
Very fun.
A lot of submissions tonight.
Absolutely.
A really great job.
They took us seriously. There's a couple, I can't see it right now, but is there questions in there?
Oh, the Q&A.
We'll keep an eye on.
Oh, there.
Just
Somebody
people
just
correcting me.
the one's already been answered, and the other one was
Yeah.
just Tim Ferriss.
Yeah,
So
we're good. Awesome.
yeah. Ooh, that's
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Cassandra, that looks like one of your old.
I crinkle paper. I've done many that way. So I say,
I know.
here you go.
When you first came in, you were doing all your drawings on like really
Paper bags.
paper bags.
but really, really beat up. paper
Yeah.
bags.
You should have seen me. I was putting
This
books
is
on
really
for like
fun.
an hour before, being like, I think this will work.
No, that's nice too.
It is.
So you've influenced people now, Cassandra.
I don't know. They could have brought it to the table and not even seen the early work of mine.
The paper bag series.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's really nice.
Very nice, Anthony. Ooh, that's cool.
I like the long neck.
Yeah. And the little hands too.
Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
that's really nice.
I like that so many people have dealt with the hands.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get to it in time, so mine's just a
Deal with
lump.
the hands. Oh, that's cool. What's up?
Very good.
You like the artwork?
Nice, nice.
Congrats on the vaccine dose. I
Yeah.
don't know if you intended to put that in personal note in there, but,
Congratulations, nonetheless.
but we're very happy for you.
Oh, that's cool.
Sweet.
Oh, nice for watercolor.
I like that. That's great.
And
Mm-hmm.
Good, Ben.
Jenna je ne sais quoi. The best, the most clever Instagram handle of anybody that participates.
I was
in
just
this.
thinking
It's so
that
good.
as you said
I challenge anybody to top it.
I also really like your drawing.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's it for tonight.
all right.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Great work by Julie.
That was a very fun night. Thank you all. And
Yeah.
Bill, Cassandra, thank you for drawing with us tonight. And Timmy, everything worked out well. And I think we're everybody have a great weekend and hope to see you all next week. If you get a chance, check out the Studio Bridge.
Do it.
Audrey Benjaminson starting her demo on Monday night. So
Yeah.
There.
Tune in.
you can check it out. You don't even need a credit card.
You don't even need a credit card.
It's very
Yeah.
smart.
All right, everybody.
Everyone